guy's so good. He can play anything. He was one of my better students.
Welcome to the Terry Sullivan Show. Today's guest, the Kerbow family. And now here's your host, Terry Sullivan.
This is what we're going to do. You don't have to say anything today.
Okay.
Chief, you don't have to say anything today.
Okay.
We talking to Becky, the mantra.
It's a win-win.
Well, she's the A1, Kerbow.
I guarantee she keeps it all in line.
She does.
So we're going to bring a lot of stuff out that people need to know about this family.
Okay.
That's a whole lot of stuff, mate.
Listen, the first 20 minutes, your childhood.
Oh.
This is, because here's the deal. So you and Jessica and the boys went to Galveston
Yes, sir.
last week or so, whenever it was. And you guys started posting pictures of the kids crying. And I got so captivated by that, I just wanted to see them cry.
Yep.
I did. I was looking for the next one. What are they going to do where Riggs is just laying it out?
Yeah, it certainly developed a small audience. That's for sure.
Of course, I like the response. Somebody responded, give them Benadryl like it was a real deal. And I was thinking, Riggs doesn't need the Benadryl, but James.
James, yes. Yes.
Now, Becky, let me ask you.
All right.
Judge, it's so good to have you.
It's so good to be here. Thank you for having us.
Becky, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Chief, it's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure.
We're going to get to some serious stuff in a little bit, maybe. So, Becky, when you look at Riggs, and all of Riggs is Riggs, do you see James?
100%. He is his father 100% over. And I love every minute of it.
Only because you're saying, reaping what you sow.
Amen.
You know, the Bible says you're going to, whatever you sow, that's what you're going to reap. The world just calls it karma. What goes around comes around. But either way, you're reaping.
I prayed for that day that he would have one just like him, and he did. I just feel sorry for Jess.
Well, there's always that. There's always that. So here we are, Kerbow family. How many combined? How many years in law enforcement?
Whoa.
I was 40 years and a couple of months, for me.
20 for me.
And this is 4 for me.
So is this what he wanted to do? Or when he was a kid, did you just kind of groom him up to this?
No. This is far from what I ever thought he would do.
Yeah, we never expected it.
No.
I think he talked a little bit about, more law enforcement things, but that didn't really last real long. It was, when he was very small, but I never really expected him to become a law enforcement officer.
Yeah, FBI is really what I had my heart set on.
Yeah, FBI.
Until I found out what all went into it as far as education-wise. You had to have a couple of different master's degrees in biology and chemical engineering because of what all it really entails, as well as being bilingual and having a bunch of other educational requirements. Jacqueline, my sister, was always just stellar at school, and it was a little harder for me because of my social life, or didn't study quite as hard as I should have back
Harder,
then.
no. He didn't have to study because he was smart. He was really smart, and he passed everything without studying at all.
So Jacqueline said that she would come on, but it would turn into a bloodbath.
Yeah, that's true.
She didn't say that, really. I just made that up.
I would buy it.
I lie a lot. Chief, let me ask you a question. Now, let me ask Judge. When you were a kid, now your dad was well into law enforcement, and how old were you when he became chief of police in Lewisville?
Let's see, he retired in 18, he was chief for 11 years. So this was 2011 or so when he was chief. And in 2011, I was in my career in multifamily real estate, working for a REIT. here in Dallas, and yeah, it was a really neat honor because my Uncle Jerry, my dad's longtime friend, Jerry Galler, was the assistant chief here in Lewisville. And then when Dad got promoted from assistant chief to chief, you know, we had a great celebration. It was a great time. It was really neat, but I was already long out of the house at that point, and but we were really excited. But I was living over briefly in Plano at that time because that's where a lot of the properties were that I was working at.
Was he a good kid?
You don't have to answer that.
No. Well, wait.
Here we go.
He wasn't a really bad kid, and he didn't cause us a lot
Every
of
parent would say that. Listen, you got to get nervous when your mom says, "Well, he wasn't a bad kid."
Well, she's still under oath.
He was precocious. He was
Spirited.
Spirited. Yes.
Very active.
Very.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
You know, this is what I've learned about your dad. He is so diplomatic. No matter what you ask him, he thinks real hard about how to answer it.
He does.
That comes from more than 40 years of law enforcement right there.
That training, exactly.
When he was growing up, so how many kids did you have?
We have 2 kids.
2 kids, okay. Which one did you like the most?
Well, he will tell you his sister. I will tell you the same. She will tell you him. So, you know, take a pick. Jacqueline was much easier. She went to dance. She did her homework. She just was less need for supervision.
Don't you wish you'd have known that about 25 years ago?
I'm glad I didn't know that 25 years ago. No, I knew that Jacqueline, you know, there was, I definitely needed a lot of attention, the spotlight, if you will.
Are you still close to your sister?
Oh yeah, we talk pretty often, but honestly, I'm closest with my brother-in-law, with her husband. And I got to marry them before they performed their marriage.
Oh, no kidding.
Several years ago, yeah.
So Becky, you were a justice of the peace for 20 years. Mm-hmm. You passed the mantle on to James.
I did.
How cool was that?
That was really cool. I swore him in.
Did you cry?
Oh gosh, yes. I cried when he was elected. Very emotional. His election was really difficult. It was a 3-person race. Then he had a runoff, and it was a long, drawn-out process. And it was just a few votes. It was very, very, very close. So was a long time coming, but we were very, very excited. And I think so. Jacqueline, his sister, was one. We always knew she was going to be a lawyer or a vet. But I figured it was going to be a lawyer, and she is.
One and the same.
Right. So, but with James, you know, he just was, you never could pinpoint. I never knew what he was going to do. It was going to be, let's figure it out. Let's see what happens. And I don't know, as he was working his multifamily career and management, and I really thought he might go into real estate or something because he has this great personality for that as well. But it just honed in on being a judge, and
he's a great judge.
He's really awesome, really awesome.
And aren't you glad the next election is not going to be as hard as the first one?
Yes, we're so grateful.
Yeah, it's nice to have at least one of those. Yeah.
So, Chief, you retired. You've been retired since 2018.
Yes.
Yes. So you and Becky have done a lot of traveling.
We have.
Becky, where's the best place? Best place you've been? Now, you guys went to Prague, I believe, even this year.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Oh my gosh, everything is so unique to itself. It's so special on its own. But we love Europe. It's very, very special to us. We just got back from New Mexico, which was beautiful, some cooler weather and mountains. Alaska was spectacular. So we just enjoy where we're at the time. It's our favorite place at the time.
In the 20 years that you sat on the bench, what did you like most about being a judge?
I think at that time we were able to do truancy, and we were able to have a big impact on it, where now the laws are changed and you don't really have as much that you can do with it. So it gave me an opportunity to really impact kids' lives, to help them focus that, look, Your first milestone is graduation. Not every kid is meant for college and all that, but graduation is necessary. And so it really helped me have impact on a lot of kids. So that was fun.
That's the first court I ever sat in on.
Yeah. I
Was-
used to take the kids to court
Yep.
during the summer. They'd go up there, they'd volunteer. Well, I would not volunteer then. They would help out at the office and sit through court and stuff. They loved it on attorney days. They loved the attorneys coming in. And
What's one thing your mother taught you about being a judge?
Just one thing. Know your job, do only your job, and the golden rule. You treat people like you'd want to be treated.
no, it's he who has the gold makes the rules.
No, that's definitely not how that went.
See, I knew we'd get down to the truth here.
There's something about gold in there. I knew that was.
So let me ask you this. So today, now your mom's been retired for how many years now?
Same period.
Yeah, about 3 years.
19, so 3 years.
December 31st, 2018.
18.
Yeah.
Do you ever call your mom and say, I got this thing, I need some help?
It started out a lot that way when I first took office, especially when I had my first sovereign citizen in court and was totally blindsided by that. But there were times definitely where I would absolutely take a brief 5-minute recess, give her a call and say, what on earth is going on? It is it's certainly, it can be a shock to your senses when you've never seen certain scenarios before.
Did that make you proud?
Absolutely. But what did I always tell
Or did you say, hey, it's you now, get off the phone,
That happened the later on calls.
stop bothering me?
The first few calls were definitely a fun time together because she could, I think this way, maybe she can clarify it. We were going through something incredibly similar, and to share these similar experiences with similar thought processes, right? It really just aligned up kind of who each of us was, what we go through in decision making, and then of course, but most importantly, abiding by the law and making sure we're following the law. But I think that those were some of the most fun conversations to share. Misery loves company, right? So some of the fun cases that we get to
Yes.
share are some of the most spirited.
How hard was it to be the wife of chief of police?
Oh, it wasn't easy. You see the burden and you see the toll that it takes. The commitment and the care behind it. Our kids, their dad didn't take a briefcase to work. He took a gun.
Right.
And so every morning he strapped on a gun. So that was very normal for our kids, not a normal situation for most people. I think raising kids when you're both in law enforcement or see that side of people and the process, you don't trust a lot of people. You're and so the kids, they wanted to do something. I wanted to know the real truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you really doing?
I want to do a background check on them, everybody.
Yeah.
Chief, how often did you go home and you just had to lay it out to Becky? You just had to lay out the day. It was irritating, frustrating.
I mean, pretty often, there would seem like at least once a week there'd be, something would come up or, something was going on at work that I just had, I needed a sounding board. And you don't always have that at work anyway.
Yeah.
Somebody will just actually listen to you.
Somebody you could trust.
Somebody you can trust to keep their mouth shut and not repeat this.
Do you ever worry about your dad?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, when your dad is working deep nights and he's not getting home until, 7 a.m., there's about a 30-minute window where we would be at home together approximately before mom is rushing us out the door to get to school and where dad is unwinding from the day. And you're going all night. There's times that Jacqueline and we stayed up, late in bed, and I had a bunk bed, so sometimes we would sleep in the same room from time to time. And oh yeah, there were times I prayed and was just hoping that everything was going to be okay, because Dad always raised me that nothing good happens after 10 o'clock. So,
Right?
you know, and you're working those hours. I mean, those can be dangerous times on the road, dealing with folks if they're, you know, if they've been drinking or if there's stuff going on. I mean, yeah, that certainly is a frightening time, and it certainly can be.
Chief, you were very hands-on. I mean, you very loyal to your police officers, and even to the day that you retired, you'd jump in a car and ride.
Oh yeah.
Did you do that? I mean, why? I mean, after all those years, why were you so involved until the day you retired?
Well, I can tell you, it's nothing like being on patrol. Being in a squad car and, you know, going from call to call, or, you know, just patrolling the city, to be able to do that. I mean, I still catch myself doing that today. I'll be going somewhere and they'll say, well, why are you going this way? I go, well, good patrol, you never go the same way twice, you know, so you're not predictable. And you know, it's just, there's some comfort to that, driving and being in a car with another officer, and, you know, regardless of the age difference, you know, we share an experience. You know, they are answering the same kind of calls I answered when I was their age. So that was always kind of a neat thing.
Did you ever have a situation in all the years of law enforcement, specifically as the chief of police, where you you feared for your family's safety?
Yeah, there were a few times that, you know, things got kind of close at work. You know, some veiled threats that you get just because of who you are, you know, what position you have, not because they know you, because they don't. But then, yeah, you worry, go, you know, they can find where I live, you know, then these guys are a target, and, you know, that always is kind of in the back of your mind, you know. But we talked a lot about, you know, looking out for each other and watching where you're going, and,
Yeah.
you know, being aware of that. And plus, and now with that new Apple technology, I could stalk both of them, you know,
That's
keep
true.
up with them.
And you do.
Yeah,
I do, yeah.
Becky, did you ever have to say to Chief, suck it up, Buttercup, you signed up for this?
No, he was always dedicated and loyal, and was there to the end. So.
You missed the bench.
No.
You did your time.
I did, and I really have enjoyed. So with Russ and I, we were on 24/7. I mean, we were part of the community, and people are watching you and looking for you to stumble, and you have to be you have to try to present yourself all the time. So.
Do you still feel that way? I mean,
No, that's what I like. I feel like we're more private. We don't have to be on 24/7. And so I've really enjoyed not having to be that role model. I still need to be a good role model. We're still a Christian. We're still, you know, people are still watching, and we still have to walk the walk and
Sure.
be good citizens. But I just don't feel like I'm as public, and I really do like that. That's been really nice. And that was the first time. Russ was for 40 years and me 20, so that was the first time we've not been in the spotlight.
Sure. Kerbow family goes way back here in Lewisville.
Yeah.
Seen a lot of changes, good, bad, seen a lot of changes, gone through a lot of leadership. Where are we at right now in Lewisville? Well, let me be more specific. Where are we at in Old Town? I mean, Old Town is being revitalized, a lot of development going on, trying to bring the Main Street back. Tell me your opinions on that.
It's my favorite part of the city. It's the heart to me for the city.
Yeah.
Just love it.
I generally like what I see down here, and it's just kind of funny, you know, getting back to talking about social media. You know, you see a lot of varying opinions about what's going on in Old Town, and there are some people that don't really like it, you know, because it's not like it was in 1955. Well, you know, what else is?
Yeah.
Nothing's ever what it was in
I
the
do.
50s.
I
you
do
know?
miss that. I miss having the fields of cows and horses.
But at the same time, you know, a lot of times people talk about the good old days. That a lot of times they weren't very good back
Yeah.
in the good old days. But that's what you remember, you know, and you remember
Yeah.
what you want to remember. But you know, Old Town had some times when it wasn't it wasn't going very well. A lot of boarded
Absolutely.
up buildings on Main Street, and,
Yeah.
and I think the city's done an incredible job bringing life back
Yeah.
into it.
You know, we've had great city councils. We've had great mayors. We've had a lot of folks who are
You're not
truly.
talking about TJ though. I mean, we're going to exclude him.
You know, Mayor Gilmore has done a really good job, but Mayor Durham as well has done a fine job. And you've got businesses who are really trying to bring back the heart of Old Town with, you know, not just the Perk and the Mercantile next door, and then the lounge above that, but we're talking Odin Leather Goods, Odin
Yes.
Clack and his family coming in here. We're talking about Frost Bank down on the far side, and you got Beasley's Jewelers over there. That's where I bought my wife's engagement ring. It was 10 years ago. 10 years ago this year. And just Old Town to us is, and especially to me, it's just got that feel where you can walk up and down the streets. The buildings are the same, although the businesses are not.
Right.
Right, they're newer inside, or you know, if you go to the Perk and you catch me there one morning having an espresso or a green tea or something like that, there's several folks that you run into that are Lewisville folks, like the Stranges who own the Grand
Sure.
Ballroom here, and you know, you feel at home. And that's really important. Folks ask me all the time, yeah, where are you from? Well, I'm from Lewisville. What do you mean? I mean, I was born in Lewisville Hospital in June of '84, just right down Main Street here.
Right.
What you know is Medical City. That's that's where I was brought in this world.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I love it.
it's there's something about Old Town Lewisville that's just family oriented,
Yeah.
even if you're
Yeah.
not family.
Yeah,
You know,
I agree.
I watch it all the time at the restaurant. I watch people come in and yell across the room, and you know, and all of a sudden 4 people become 8 people at a table.
Yeah, oh,
You
yeah.
know, talk about old times, and it's just kind of a really fun atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know, and I hate to put the spotlight back on you, but it's like walking into Sullivan's barbecue on a Friday night, where it doesn't feel like there's any one table.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean that with all due respect. It is just
Right.
it's a room of folks where I run into, you know, Judge Ramirez or you know, Brother Ken from Northview Baptist Church, and you know, we sit down here and we all eat together as a family, and we're listening to good music, and sometimes we're singing along. Sometimes my
true.
kids don't care about your food at all. They just want the ice cream that you bring them.
That's all of them.
Jess and I are meaning to talk to you about that.
I mean, you know, listen, when Riggs comes in, the only thing I look forward to is sugaring that kid up.
Man,
Love it.
I'm going to hold you in contempt one of these days, but not today.
Because when Riggs gets sugar in him, it's instantaneous.
It is
Yeah.
instant.
Oh,
He goes,
yeah.
it's like watching a ping pong ball in the closet.
I'm just glad you don't have a lot of breakable valuables around here, because he,
I would
yeah.
even enjoy that.
But yeah, and I
know-
certainly don't mind mom's pecan pie.
Oh, she's the best. We've got a great, I think we have wonderful city management.
Sure.
Claire, of course, Donna Barron, when I first came in,
Yeah.
and such a wonderful person. Now Claire Powell, and so much good leadership in our city. And I said this, I believe, earlier or in another episode, but I really believe it, that it seems like our city management with Clara and Eric's been there a long time, have a heart. It's not just politics.
Right.
They really have a heart for our city and the growth of our city, and to make it better for the people that live here.
And these are we're talking new leadership. These are new folks.
That's a really good point.
Mayor Gilmore's new.
Yeah.
You know, there's many folks that are on the city council who are new. You know, Kristen Green, she's new. We just had a new elected city council person as well. We're talking about, you know, I'm still new. I am still a new judge, just finishing my first term. And for those to quite literally, you know, pass the torch on, and Durham did that to Gilmore as well, and TJ got to learn under Rudy for a long time. It's new. Even you're new here. This was Dickie Grant's Old Town Meat
Yeah.
Market, and that's how I knew of it growing up. We used to eat in the back.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
back.
42 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't been around that long, but
Well, your dad has.
okay, maybe
Oh, yeah.
Dad has. I've only
And
been here 38 years.
I feel like we've been part of that portion of it where the city was like getting older employees, and you know, we need to retire and let the young ones, and that was, you know, when I retired, I could have gone on a few more years, but I didn't want to not be retired with Russ. He wasn't going to travel without me.
Right,
I hope.
Hey, the man couldn't make a sandwich.
Right.
Oh, I make
So-
a pretty good sandwich, actually.
Oh, hey, you did, because I remember when you were in Prague, you showed a lot of food.
A lot of food.
Yeah,
He does a lot of
there
cooking.
I was making up for that diet she put me on before we went on that trip.
I saw all that food and I said, man, is he gaining a lot of weight? But I mean, it's just me.
Yeah, it was pretty heavy stuff, too.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
one thing us Kerbows we do that maybe not a whole lot of folks realize. We all love food, love to cook. I worked for Morris Salerno for the first, 9 years of my life. That's where I started getting familiar with it. At home, I watched them cook, and we always cooked at home. That's what
Yeah.
you did. How do you think?
Is
My
Mom a
wife
good
is way
cook?
too good for me. How do you think I stole her heart with food?
Is Mom a good cook?
Yes, Mom and Dad are both incredible in the kitchen.
By
And
the way, let me just add to that. Listen, this is one of my prayers, and we have all-you-can-eat catfish on Friday night, and all-you-can-eat catfish or ribs on Saturday night. And when those 2 nights roll around every week, I just pray that you don't show up. I don't mean to speak out of turn.
Well, I'm watching my calorie intake right now. I'm in the process on my way to a goal. So I promise you, if I do come in, I will be very mindful about what I have. Except for that pecan pie.
When you come in on those nights, this is how it's going to go. It's all you can eat, but for you, it's all I say you can eat.
That's right. Okay.
There you go.
That's fair.
It's a clause in the contract.
Kerbow family is really a rare family. There's not a lot of families that have grown up in a town that have had so much, not just leadership, but so much positive leadership and successful leadership. Your whole family, Chief, and this is to you and to Becky, your whole family is so important to Lewisville. The legacy that you are leaving behind with your family and with law enforcement and all the things you did for many years here, all the things that Becky did on the seat and as a judge, everybody's so appreciative of that and probably don't tell you enough. But I want to tell you, we're proud of you, Becky, so proud of you and
Well,
the
thank
jobs
you.
that you guys did, what you did for the city of Lewisville, what you continue to do, and the charity works that you're involved in.
Yeah.
We're so happy. Thank you for coming on the show today. We could
Thank
talk
you.
all day, but we got to get out here. Terry, take us home, Bubba. Thank you, Terry.
That was fun.
That's a wrap.